Hello. So today's topic is sort of an add-on to yesterday's. I'm going to talk a little bit more about anger, some annoyances, and what is that doing there? What? Did my neighbor get a new job driving? What is this thing? Mickey truck bodies? What the hell? Oh, okay, that's weird. Anyways, so yeah, annoyances a little bit, and some other topics. So to start, I thought about why my sister waking me up in the night is so annoying to me, and I realized it was because I was given many things. First of all, I was given the ability to sleep at night. I don't have a ton of homework. I'm not being forced to stay up late, so I have the ability to go to sleep early. I have the what's the term for that? How did I forget this word? Oh my goodness. The freedom to go to sleep early. And I was given the will to be able to make myself go to sleep early and not want to stay up all night on my phone. So I have the will and I have the freedom. And I want to, for my current self and for the health of my mind and my general body in the future, I really want to go to sleep at a healthy time, wake up at a healthy time to get proper sleep. And all of this would be possible if it weren't for my sister doing, as mentioned in the last video, something completely unnecessary. So due to something unnecessary, I am given an opportunity which many people do not have, but it is wasted because of my sister, who is doing something she doesn't have to do that is very rude. And that's why it's very annoying to me. So yeah, there's that. And then I also wanted to discuss a little bit about, I briefly mentioned in the last video, like how I can't be me around people. I can't constantly be giving them advice and trying to improve them because that's annoying to them. And then today I thought, so at what level do you have to, in terms of a skill, is it a skill to be able to work with people? Yes, it is. So how does one develop that skill, and how much of it is being fake, how much of it is just knowing how to talk to people? Because at my current level, if I focus, I can read the room, so to speak, acknowledge people's emotions, treat them how they should be treated, avoid what I should avoid, and approach what I should approach. And being able to do this better would be good. The better you can manage people, from the most insane psychopaths to very calm people of all types, if you can manage them, that's great. I, unfortunately, kind of the antithesis. In striving to be the best I can be, I make myself very, very logical, not emotional at all. I try to be efficient. I don't want to go slow or take anything easy. I enjoy physical challenges, not relaxation. So, when dealing with other people, I cannot confront them about every flaw they have to attempt to improve them. See, if I had a friend, then I would love them to do that. I would want a friend to... That one frog was there last time. They're so loud. So yeah, I would want not frog. I guess a frog is kind of cool. But I would want a friend to point out every flaw that I have constantly. As the Bible says many times, and as is logical, you have to accept your flaws to change them. And I'm very fine with accepting flaws. So if I was told my flaws constantly, and they were logical, that would be a bad thing to hit. Then I would address these flaws and change them. If they're of personal manner, like my parents telling me, I should have more emotion, or rather, in their words, or technically, very specifically, my dad's words, stop being so apathetic. I don't really need to do that, because that is addressing my opinion towards things, which I don't inflict on others. So if I see something, I go, oh, that's unfortunate, when he would have rathered me said something more empathetic. That doesn't necessarily concern me. But if it's something that is going to affect other people, or it is a sin that I'm committing, or it worsens my life in any way, then yes, I want to fix those flaws. Which is why you want people to address your flaws. As mentioned last time, confrontation is good, judgment is not good. Proverbs mentions this a lot. Not those exact words, but general idea. Teleportation real quick. Poof. All right, we're here. So, here's a nice rock. Yeah. Okay, I gotta see what's going on over there, really. It's about construction. Oh, what's I saying? All right, so you should address and fix all of your flaws. But unfortunately, people are not like me. People do not want to strive in any second of their life to, generalizing. You should assume this by now, but people means the general person, not every single person. So, people, so to speak, do not want to improve themselves constantly. Thus, they do not want to be constantly told about their flaws because that is annoying to them. Some people think they just want to live their lives and don't want to be told about everything they can improve. And also, there's a difference. Some people would like to be told about their flaws, but don't want to be told how to improve. Because there is a difference between fixing a problem and doing better. There are some things that are neutral, but can be done better, and should be done better, because it benefits more people, or it's more efficient, or many reasons. That's one thing, probably the main thing I addressed my dad about, things he could do better. They aren't necessarily flaws in themselves, so they're not directly causing problems, but they most definitely could be doing better. And that is kind of my mindset. If I have a flaw, I'll address it, but primarily I would like to be doing things as efficient and as logically and as accurately and as everythingly possible. Because the better you do, the better you do. As mentioned many times, good stuff is good, bad stuff is bad. The gooder you are, the gooder you are. So I try to be as gooder as I possibly can be. And the more good I am. Jesus Christ. I threw it up and then it disappeared into the darkness, so I ducked and covered. I didn't know where it went. What is going on here? They just tore up the entire sidewalk and part of their driveway. What is this? What? That's strange. Anyways. So yeah. General idea of everything I've just said. Well, yeah, how do I generalize it? Let me think for a moment. Whoop. Alright, so for some reason, my ADHD / autistic / any form of spectrum brain decided to focus primarily on doing that transition and completely forgot to think about what I was going to think about. I literally just did that transition and then alright, let's figure out how to end this transition. And I did not think for any time at all. Nope, okay. Gotta love being special. Now, let me actually think with a different transition this time. So I think the general idea is be the best person you can be, accept that the world is flawed and you will have to deal with the flaws in this world. I have read a few times in Matthew and another book, I can't remember which, that it is better to be prosecuted for being righteous than to be prosecuted for being lawless. And it is also better to be prosecuted for being righteous than to not be righteous to save yourself. So, even if it makes people mad at you, even if it makes you lose your job, or anything bad happens to you, it's better to be a good person, be righteous, than it is to try and conform to society. Unfortunately, conforming to society, the best way to get along is to, beat other people, trample them in your path, steal, lie, basically be a terrible person. And you will succeed. It is the unfortunate truth, but it is the truth. And what would you rather have? Wealth, which will go away when you die, and success, which will go away when you die? Or would you rather be a good person, morally just, and influential to others to be better people? I know what I would choose. And some of you may argue you must go through hardships in order for your next generation to have money and safety and security. And of course, that's fair to be supporting other people. And in a way, by doing that, you are supporting the next generation. But, two things. First of all, you can still prosper without being evil. Just have dedication. Second of all, just don't be bad. If you were... Now, okay, here's an extreme example. I believe pretty much no one would not do this, but if you were told to go up to a random person, and slap them, you are allowed to explain why afterwards, but just slap them. And you will be given $5 million. Now, you may not donate this to charity. You may not give any of it to the person you slapped. You can only do this to support yourself. Now, some people may say, actually, let's make this more extreme to make it more viable. $100 million. So without donation, you are allowed to invest it for yourself, though. Or I guess for your next generation. Only people within your family line, no one else. So, you are harming someone else in a minor scale for massive self-benefit. Now, this wealth will go away when you die. And given you're not allowed to donate to other people, there's no justification of, one good is greater than one small wrong. So a slap is worth a ton of donation. He'll get money for it in return. And I'm sure even for like $50, you'd be slapped. So given someone's offered $100 million, you can get a large portion of that. You would obviously want to be slapped. But given you're not allowed to do this, it is purely self-gain. So you can secure yourself financially and secure many generations financially. You can invest it all, and your second or third generation will be in the billions. And they don't have to be evil, and they'll be secured for life. They can work a modest job, and your family will never be under turmoil if you live in a safe place. They will always be secured, and they can live in a very nice place like Iceland, which costs a lot of money. All at the cost of stopping a person. Now, I'm sure many, many people, perhaps not a devout pacifist, would choose to slap that person. Even if it's self-gain. I see a cat over there. I'm going to go chase after that cat. But yeah, even if it's for self-gain only, you're doing one small wrong to secure yourself. And perhaps one argument for that, the argument that I would have, which is quite logical, is that by securing yourself financially for potentially your entire life, easily your entire life, $100 million, you don't need $1 million a year. And you aren't going to be spending that much. You shouldn't. So by securing yourself and potentially future generations, you can take time, all the free time that you have now, quit your job, and do positive things. So, you may not be able to do that, give the money to the person you slapped, but you can use all that time to become a doctor and support people who get slapped. Weird example, but it's true. You can spend all your time helping people. You can spend all your time spreading the word and being influential and, making people's day better. So, arguably, one wrong will eventually equate to many, many, many rights. But I believe the Bible does say that no matter how beneficial to yourself or others, you should not do anything wrong. If Jesus were to have slapped, or even, let's make it a better example, punched a man very hard for the sake of saving an entire nation, that would be committing a sin. That would be turning the sinless into the sinful. And that is very bad. And really, no matter what you do, influencing people, improving your generations, securing yourself financially, it's all mortal. It's all going to go to waste in the end. All the people's lives you improve, they're all going to die. Your generations are going to die. You're going to die. Read Ecclesiastes. It's pretty much my entire message here. So, for committing a sin, you are doing something which will, in the end, with the heat death of the universe, equate to nothing. You will have become a worse person spiritually for the sake of nothing being benefited morally in the earth. And now, again, you could argue, like, okay, so I show myself to be a bad person by sinning, but also I can use all that spare time to become a pastor and spread the word and help other people. So in committing a sin myself, I'm sacrificing myself for other people to be better. I do not know how the Bible would approach that, and I don't know how I would approach that. Because in a way, that is like a less exaggerated version of Jesus dying on the cross for our sins. He took in suffering, and in that everyone else's sins maybe were paid. So, you will be a worse person for punching someone, but you will also be saving many other people. Not the amount of people that Jesus did, everyone, but still many people. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I guess you would do it. I don't know. I do not know. There's a cat sitting on the fence. That's an odd one. I'll think about that one. Cat. So yeah, I don't know if you do that. I think about it. This is gonna be a useful walk and talk, but given I did not talk about that much, it seemed somewhat useful in the beginning, but I don't think I shared anything that someone might not know. Working with people is good. Being good is good. Don't be annoyed at people. Will I put this in the useful walk and talks playlist? Who knows? Only time will tell. And you know who made time? The person who will also tell whether or not it goes in the playlist. Capital G, capital O, capital D. Spelled backwards is dog. Well, it definitely started as useful, at least something I would consider to be potentially useful. Perhaps, I believe I know what I'll do now. I'll put it in the useful walk and talk section, but when chaptering the video, also for some reason my last video, chapters didn't work. I tested a lot of things, and literally just any type of chapter just does not work on the video, and I do not know why. But for this video, I'll chapter the useful section, and then the section where I start talking about rocks and things, I don't know. Because I guess I did break, but then kind of came back and started talking about somewhat useful stuff. Oh, okay. I guess that's what it'll be. Generalized useful things. Just some useful stuff. In between, some useless stuff. None of it that useful, but if you listen, you might learn a thing or two. Or not. Just kind of a more useful than useless, I suppose. I gotta love scaring cats. I saw a frog earlier. Oh no. Fixed. I will now walk with no intent to say anything else. Whatever comes up will come up. It's a weirdly solidified piece of shoelace or something. Bouncy. Ooh. And other letters. Go ahead and jump. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention was how I'm not sure how I forgot to mention this, but in reading the Bible, I've pretty much instantly learned a lot of things, changed my mindset, and changed as a person. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Kind of figured that was happening, but it did. So nice to know. Be tall. Okay, come back down. I think it's over this, but it's hard to see it. Ooh. Southwest? Is that what the S and W means? I do not know. The S's do line the area. Ooh, what is this one? A C, perhaps? A U? Oh, no, it's an S. Or a 2. Who knows? It's different, which makes it special. Oh, there's another one. Who knows what it is? Ooh, yeah, W. Or if you want to be very ferocious, M. W. Oh, it's another 2/S. Who knows? And what do you think is over there? What do you think that one is? Guess what? It's a 2. I think. That one's weirder. This W is cut off. It looks like a Z. W, Z, M, S, 2. Who knows what these symbols mean? They're alien. Unalienable rights. I believe I have reached another moment, one which I have recognized before, in which there are a few possible current reasons you may be watching this. 1, you're not. You forgot about this playing and it's just kind of playing and you're doing something else. If so, hey, get back to the video. Come here. Hey. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? Good. All right, you are. If you're not, then you're stupid. But obviously the people who wasn't paying attention didn't hear that because they're not paying attention. So, shh, don't tell them. So, all of you that are paying attention, I suppose I did ruin one of the scenarios. One of the scenarios was that you're kind of half paying attention and not really listening to it. But I kind of ruined that one because you're either not here or now you're paying attention because I was talking to you. Or that last roughly 7-second ramble was so boring that you stopped paying attention again and that scenario became realized. And then, of course, there's a scenario where you're fully paying attention for no reason. Perhaps you're very bored. Or you're trying to sleep, so it's just background noise. In that case, I annoyed you by doing that attention thing. Now that is most definitely an S. It's a clean one. A V or an X? I think that's a V. Or a Y. And I'm probably annoying the people who are potentially sleeping or trying to sleep with this. Well, I know one of my friends does that. 2 in a row. So, I'm pointing out all these things and you have to look to see what it is. Oh my god, is that an eagle? Like if I just said that and you weren't looking at the screen, you'd be like, oh crap, what? You had to rewind it to look at it and see that I was just pretending. That's sort of eagle shaped, I guess. For instance, okay, let's have a little fun. I like to have fun. Fun is good. So, don't look at the screen. If you're going to look at the screen through this to cheat, then you're stupid. So, don't look right now. So stop looking. Now, I'm going to hold up either a 1 finger, 2 fingers, or 3 fingers, or perhaps 4 fingers, or 5. From 1 to 5 fingers. Now, you can guess the amount of fingers, but when I tell you to look back at the screen, I'll put the fingers down. So, if you choose not to rewind, then you will not have known how many fingers I put up, and you will intentionally have put away information by following my command. So, go ahead and, if you still haven't for some reason, look away from the screen. And if you are looking away from the screen, keep looking away, or close your eyes, Basically, just don't have the screen in sight. Now I'm going to hold up the number of fingers, so make sure you can't see the screen. 3, 2, 1. All right, you may now look. So, you have no clue how many fingers I held up, and for all you know, I held something else up. Could have held up a bird, a dead bird. Could have held up a diamond. Could have held up the SR-71 Blackbird, and you wouldn't know, because you chose not to look. Now, one thing you could do, for instance, if you look closely at the screen this is playing on, and very lightly close your eyes, you can notice certain things, like brightness changes. You probably noticed the flashing there if you had your eyes lightly closed in front of the screen, and the screen was bright. I could do like that. You might notice color changes, completely cover it. Sorry for people who are photosensitive, I did not mean to do that. If you're dead, rest in peace. God bless your soul. Jump back. What's that sound? Here she comes. Something, 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 something. Panama lyrics are pretty good, but only around the chorus. The rest of it sucks. Panama. That looks like barf, but it's actually meat someone ran over. I think it was like a turkey breast or something. Not sure how that happened. How someone dropped their meat in the road and someone ran it over. Very strange. Or perhaps it was a setup. They did throw up, but they didn't want it to look like throw up, so they threw a turkey breast package on the ground to make it look like that stuff came out of the package, but instead it was their barf, or their puke, or their throw up, or their vomit, or their hurl. Why is there so many words for this one thing? Odd. I wonder how many people throw up per second. How many people throw up? Who knows? How many people hurl? Puke, vomit, hurl, throw up. All those words. Extrude substance from their body. There's a lot of ways to do that, actually. It may seem like, pee and poop are the main ones, but then you got pee, poop, breast milk, the one I can't mention, vomit, blood from your nose or from other places, sweat, saliva. I don't know how I went from this to this. I'm not paying attention to my fingers. My fingers just, they'll do whatever they want. Mucus. Okay, so breast milk, mucus, saliva. I'm trying to think of the formal words. Feces, urine, blood, sweat, and tears. Tears count as water, I suppose. Tears and sweat are the same thing? I think they are the same thing, pretty much. So, count them as the same. I forgot already. Okay, so, water, aka tears or sweat, urine, feces, breast milk, blood, saliva, mucus, vomit, the one I can't mention. That's 9. Is there a 10th? Come on, 9 is such an unround number. Make it to 10. I want that little pinky. Earwax. I think that technically, in a way, is something you can excrete from your body, just not directly. I'll count it. So, there are 10 things that can come off of your body in a natural form, not like cutting them off like hair or slicing your flesh. I guess skin can... No, skin doesn't peel. Unless you go to the gym and, in that case, it does kind of peel. Somehow my middle finger, can't see it now, but I peeled through 2 layers of skin in the shower. It really showed. That underskin was really red. It was creepy. My skin recently has been tearing so easily. I don't know why. It's kind of concerning. Why is my hand so sensitive to anything? So, stall time. God bless you. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, adios amigos and amigos.